Today, feminism is going to be put on trial. It's story time with Paul and Pook, baby.
We're going live.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Labor Day. Most of you aren't working, so hopefully that means that more people can tune in live this morning. If you guys are wondering what I'm playing with here, it's not myself. Check this out. Hold on. This is my new book. I got it all formatted. I spent the entire day yesterday. It's all uploaded to KDP. And so when you're making a Kindle edition, pro tip, you have to make it, you can make it with Word, right? Microsoft Word. And then you could take that docx file and convert it directly to EPUB and put it directly on a tablet, especially if you have an Android tablet. So I already have the tablet edition, the Kindle edition of my new book out there. Y'all are going to have to wait though. I have a meeting with RP Thor and the Hudsman later today, and we're going to work out some kinks, and then we'll finally get it scheduled. On KDP, I've got it tentatively scheduled for the 14th, but I would like to get it out earlier than that. So stand by, but that book's ready. It's called, so it's gone through some iterations here, but Thor finally settled on the essential skills of a masculine presence series, right? So it's not dominant masculine presence, because some of these skills, you don't have to be dominant to have these skills. So the essential skills of a masculine presence psychology paradigm is the first book, and it's ready to go. I did all the formatting yesterday. It took me all damn day. So look forward to that. And I will make it pre-order available on Kindle like I did last time. So you can get it on Kindle for like 99 cents if you pre-order it. But stay tuned for that, okay? Get on the email list and you'll know when it comes out, okay? It's Mating Monday, where we talk about all things sexual dynamics. We're not at the 8-minute mark, so we have to say it like that. Today we continue the Book of Pook series. So speaking of books, the Book of Pook series. With chapters 42 and 43 in the paperback. If this is your first Book of Pook episode, let me tell you about what the Book of Pook is. Obviously, it's a book, but it's not just any book. If you are relatively new to the red pill space, to the men's self-improvement space, whatever you want to call it, this is a must-read book. It's a must-read, especially if you want to get better with women. And what it is there was a forum back in the day. It still exists. You can go to it right now. If you go to soswab.com, it's an online forum where guys are swapping notes about pickup and dating and all that kind of stuff. And that's where Rollo Tomasi got his start. He used to be a moderator in the forum. Well, this guy that went by the handle of Pook, he wrote a lot of articles on the forum, and people decided like, wow, we need to save this for posterity. And so someone took all of his really good articles and published it into a book, the Book of Pook. So that book is a compilation of forum posts that came out around 2000. So these posts are like 24 years old now, but they still apply. I love when I hear people say, hey, dating's not like it used to be. It's literally the same. Like, women are women. And so we could take some of the lessons from Pook and apply it in our lives today, right? Whether you're still out spinning plates or whether you're in a long-term relationship, understanding sort of the psychology of women and why women do the whamming things will help you out. So it's a really good book on that, and that's why we're going through it. This is my 15th episode in the series. So if you want to start from the beginning, check out my playlist on my YouTube channel. But be advised, you have to be a YouTube member to see the older ones, because all these new episodes are only free for the first 2 weeks now. But you know what? It's only $2.99. guys, it's only $2.99 a month, right? You could, that's less than a pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. Anyway, I highly recommend that you follow along with me, or that as you're following along with me and doing the series, that you're reading the book yourself. Okay, you can read it for free if you go to bookofpook.com. You can order the paperback on Amazon, which is what I did. There's also he's written so many other forum posts. They compiled them into 2 more books. So there's volume 2 and 3 also. But the original Book of Pook, if you're on Amazon, is Book of Pook volume 1. But if you prefer audiobooks, you won't find it on Audible. Okay, it doesn't exist on Audible, but you could buy a version that my good friend Jack Napier did. If you want, the links are in the description. But Jack has made his audio version free for anyone that joins my YouTube membership. Okay, if you've joined the YouTube membership, go to my YouTube channel, go to the community tab. There's a post there that's for members only, and it's got a direct link where you can get the audiobook for free. Okay, so if you're already a member, there's 7 of you guys. 7 of you have access to Jack's book for free. Thank you, Jack Napier. You're doing the Lord's work, sir. Now, before we get into the first chapter, do be sure to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And please, for the love of God, sound off in the comments. That helps boost us in the algorithm. It's also fun interacting with you guys. Doing the live streams, the reason why they're fun is because you guys are in the comments and I get to interact with you guys. So do please participate, okay? And then don't be stingy with those super chats. I announced to the boys in Beer Club last night that if you're a Beer Club member and you're a YouTube member, right? Or if you're in Beer Club and you're also or a Spotify subscriber, and I know about it, right? Like you can say, hey, Paul, I subscribed on Spotify, or whatever. But if you're in one of those 2, or if you're in both, I should say, you have to be in both, either a Beer Club and a member, or Beer Club and a Spotify subscriber. Any super chat you send automatically gets you bumped up to the $20 super chat video. Okay, because you guys are supporting me enough. Okay, so if you're like Brother Nathan, you send a $2 super chat, immediately bumped up to the $20 super chat video. Okay, and then speaking of membership, the links are in the description for either one of these things. For the Spotify guys, I'm doing more for the YouTube, but that's just because I can with the way YouTube's platform is set up, right? I can have member exclusive video, member exclusive live streams and stuff, which we're going to start doing on Tuesday nights. I can't really do that for Spotify, but I will still make those members only videos available on Spotify just after the fact. Okay. But the links are in the description to that. There's also a join button underneath this video on YouTube. And, but yeah, going back to the super chats, guys, I know y'all are sending $500 super chats. Okay. So don't be stingy with those. And if you send a $10 or $20 super chat, right? If you don't want to be a member, if you don't want to be in Beer Club, that's cool. But if you send a $10 or $20 super chat, you get one of the cool videos. And if you guys have been tuning in for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my God. Ed wanted to test out this theory, and we are past the 8-minute mark. Brother Ed is a Beer Club member, and look at this. He's a YouTube member as well. $5. Nice shirt. Beer Club's killing it. You immediately get this one. Super chat with see you there. Shake it, dance without a care. Send it love from everywhere. Groovy beats we all can share. Your support is so divine. Moving closer to the line. Thank you, you're the best. Party on, we never rest. I'm like 99% sure that particular video is getting all the rest of my live streams demonetized. I swear, if you guys like make me play that video a lot, the monetization turns yellow on YouTube, and then I go to appeal it, and they're like, "Nope, you got the booty video, bro." Anyway. All right. So the first chapter we're going to go through is Book of Pook's Feeling Down About Your Love Life. Read this. I'll drop a link to this in the chat if you guys want to read along with me online. So here's the thing. These are forum posts, right? So as I'm reading these, you got to sort of take that into consideration. They're not exactly, doctorate level theses. I don't know. Okay. So you don't have a girlfriend. You're not getting any sex. On your current course, you're about to become a monk. You feel down and saddened. Why? But Pook, I got no girl. That is not the problem. The problem is that you place your happiness on a girl. You can't be happy in a relationship unless you're happy being single. Get away. Indulge yourself in your hobbies and work. Whatever you do, do not sit there and regurgitate your emotions. Take action, right? Take action. As we've been going through this series, what's one big theme that he wants men to do? Take some action, right? But more common is, but Pook, I am doing my hobbies and work. I have a natural need for intimacy. I am tired of being single. And I am sure it is especially burning that you walk around and see these happy couples hand in hand with huge smiles on their faces, almost as if they are mocking you. But fear not, you are way ahead of the other males. How do most guys act? Either they are nice guys or jerks. Very rarely are there true good guys. Nice guys. Look at these guys in their relationships or in their marriages. You know who wears the pants in the relationship. These poor guys never understood the game and are just relieved to have settled down. They are AFCs for life. Most nice guys spend their 20s in misery until women in their 30s are ready to settle down. It is so sad to see these AFCs in such manner. I've been putting out videos lately about guys like in dead bedrooms and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of you guys out there that were the sexy, attractive alpha guy, and your girl was putting in a lot of effort in the beginning, and then she locks you down, you get in a relationship, you get married, and then over time you end up in this dead bedroom because of a process we call betatization through 1,000 concessions, right? But there is if you read the book Practical Female Psychology, there's 6 phases of how women betatize men in relationships. And what happens is the guy starts off as being the sexually attractive guy, and then by kowtowing to her, happy wife, happy life, doing the chore play bullshit, like all that kind of stuff, and not maintaining that sexual attraction, it slowly dwindles away. And a lot of people cope with that and they go, oh, well, sex naturally fades in relationship. Bullshit, right? Bullshit. Because when you're that guy and you're not getting the regular sex you want, whatever it is, right? Some guys want it every day. Some guys are cool with it 2 or 3 times a week, whatever. But if you're not even getting that and your girl's giving you the headache excuse all the time, I guarantee that you went through that betatization process. Guarantee it, right? But then there's other guys who were never the sexually attractive guy, and a girl settled with them, right? They couldn't get the alpha guy to settle down with them. So they're like, fuck it. I'm just going to look for comfort. And then they settle down with your beta ass. Okay. So she might have been sexually, sort of open in the beginning because she's like, yeah, this is what I want. I want this comfort, love, and stuff like that. But over time, she realized that you're just not blowing her skirt up. You know what I mean? So she's not putting out with you because she really don't like you. You know what I mean? You're not her first choice. So that's another problem. Okay. Either way, the solution for both of them is to up your alpha, right? Up your alpha. Is that the real pearl? Guys, is that the real pearl? Someone check. I want to make sure that's the real pearl there. Hard to tell these days. We have a lot of tomfoolery out there with the user accounts. Okay. So nice guys, poor guys, they settle down with girls in their 30s, AFCs for life. Most nice guys spend their 20s in misery until women in their 30s are ready to settle down. Okay. Some got a bit wise and looked at dating books. Unfortunately, most books make nice guys more feminine because they are written on what women say by not what they do. Oh, come on. That can't be the real Pearl. That can't be the real Pearl. I don't think she talks like that. um you're killing me. You're killing me right now. Okay, let me just turn that off for a minute. Okay. So yeah, and that's true too. Look at books like Love Languages, right? That was written by men trying to do something good for women, right? Or trying to put women on a pedestal, and yeah, it's written for women to do things too, but what ends up happening is you're negotiating, you're trying to negotiate desire, right? That just doesn't work. I've got to do this. This is killing me here. This is killing me. Give me a minute, guys. Thanks, Nuke. get, the, get the goddamn jokers out of the chat. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, let's see here. Totally distracted. You mission accomplished. Totally distracted. Thank you very much. So yeah, most of these dating books are written by women. And the problem with women, right? A lot of guys think, hey, women know women. Women give the best advice. Let me go talk to a woman and see what she thinks. Women are terrible at giving men dating and relationship advice because women have no other way of describing what they want with men than describing the beta comfort shit, right? But they are terrible about describing what gets their pussies wet. You know what I mean? And so guys go out of their way and do all the flowers and the chocolates and all the romantic stuff and all the poetry and all that bullshit. None of that gets her pussy wet. None of it. Right? When you realize that you don't need to do any of that stuff, it'll blow your mind. A lot of guys think that they have to lead with their wallets, right? Women only care about money. So I'm going to show her how much money I make, but look at my cool car. Look at my fancy outfit. All right. I'm going to take her to a fancy steak dinner for her first date. Right. And then they end up spending gobs of money dating. And they're like, wasting all my money on these women out here. It's like, bro, you didn't need to do any of that stuff. You thought you did. Right. Yeah. If you want to be a fisherman, you ask a fisherman. Okay. You don't go ask the fish. So these poor chaps have no backbone. I watched my then roommate get a call from a girl saying that she was hungry, and because she was studying, he was to go to Subway to get her a sandwich. Alas, he did this. This patheticness is not the exception. It is the common. See that cutie pie in those oh so tight pants? Most guys would chicken out in approaching her. In fact, many would go, run. Don't let us know that we are looking at her. Pathetic, pathetic, pathetic. Or the guy who calls the girls of his affections night after night, hour after hour. Pathetic. Guys, I watched a clip from Mr. Lucario. If you guys don't know who Mr. Lucario is, he's got really good stuff. I had him on the podcast a year or two ago. He's a good dude. And he was talking about, he had a guy call into a show because he does call-in shows. And this guy was saying, hey, I was talking to this girl for a couple hours last night on the phone. He was like, what the fuck? Why are you talking to these girls for hours on the phone? Right? A lot of guys do that. I used to do that in high school. I used to be that guy. I would be on the phone with my girlfriend for hours on the phone. What a monumental fucking waste of time. First of all, you can't smell her perfume when you're on the phone with her. You can't fuck her, right? You can't kiss her. You can't do any of that shit on the phone. So she's getting her emotional cup filled, and you're getting none of your physical cup filled. You see what I'm saying? Monumental waste of time. Save conversations for when you're in person. Keep phone calls and text messages for logistics. Okay. How do we meet up? How do we meet up so we can actually fuck? Right. But the nice guys, they want to make sure that, she hasn't forgotten about them in the whole day. When I was young, I remember a guy driving all the way to my house. I live out in the boonies to return to my sister a glove. She was pleasant, but didn't let him get in the front door. She said to me, whatever you do not act like that. Do not call a girl all the time. Do not act that way. Or a coworker completely infatuated follows the girl around like a puppy. The proximity is obvious. When he wasn't around, all the girls would get together and laugh and joke at him, all declaring how pathetic he was. Aren't you glad you're not that guy now? When my sister and her boyfriend were going out, my sister was breaking up and getting back together with him again and again and again. He wised up and eventually thundered, listen, woman, either stay with me or go. Make up your damn mind. She stayed with him and the two married. If he was a nice guy and scared of confrontation, do you think she would have stayed with him? No. What about the guys who just sit there and wait for girls to approach them? In their mind, they think, please ask me out. Guys should never count on women to ask them out. Ooh, that's a big thing too. Okay. For you guys that are out there dating and you walk up to girls and you give them your card and say, hey, give me a call sometime or whatever. You're being passive. It's unattractive. It's fucking unattractive behavior. You're expecting her to move the needle. Girls don't do that, right? They don't do that. But Paul, why do I have to do it? Because you're the fucking man. Okay. You have a burn of performance. Suck it up. Fucking do it. Okay. You're going to get laid more if you're more active and direct. But a lot of guys are out there being passive. When you're in a relationship, a lot of guys do this with the whole dinner debate, and then they get frustrated at their girl for not making a decision. It's not her job to make a decision, bro. That's your job. You understand? If you're the guy that's constantly like, oh, I don't want to get her mad by picking Chili's instead of Applebee's, you're being a pussy. Okay. Stop being so fucking passive. All right. And you'll have less problems in your relationship. I saw a guy on Facebook. He was commenting on one of my posts. It was a post I did this weekend about how women will never bring you peace. Man, you want to piss off some average frustrated chumps. You tell them, hey, a girl will never bring you peace, bro. Peace comes from within. Oh my God. They like to just pile in about why women need to bring them peace or whatever. It's like, you have no frame. You have no fucking frame, dude. Anyway, one of these guys, I'm not trying to pick on him, and I'm gonna keep him anonymous, but he was saying how he's like, I had peace all day because my wife was out with her family. And I was like, because she left you alone? He's like, yeah, and then she came home and now we're arguing. I'm like, why are you arguing with her, man? You know, Nurse Chick and I, we've been dating for over 3 years now. Not a single fucking argument. Not a single fucking argument. Right? She also doesn't talk. So that's I think that's her superpower. But no, I mean, nothing really is worth arguing about in a relationship, right? If you have good frame and you could sit there and like think through some stuff and sort of have some self-talk about why am I really even getting upset about this? You'll realize all the shit that you argue about with your girl is fucking retarded anyway. Oh, did I say the R word on YouTube? We're going to get demonetized. Guys, send super chats, okay? Oh, let's see here. On the married or in married life, nice guys who are afraid to lead because of their passivity. They often marry the wrong woman because they are so tender to their own emotions and oblivious to reality. Indeed, there are schmeals whose wives cheat on them constantly and they put up with it. The guys in Beer Club, the guys in my 3% Brotherhood, they know about this. I'm not going to name names here, but there's a prominent guy in the manosphere right now. Prominent guy We all just found out that his wife has an open relationship on her end and it's closed on his end, and he's tolerating it and justifying it. It's fucking shocking. It's fucking shocking. Nice guy, right? Nice guy. All right. So then we have, oh God, just stop it. Let's see here. We got some guys here. Let's see here. Silky Bob says, isn't Mr. Lucario a proven fraud with a beer belly? What? No, just stop. Just stop. No, I'm not talking about Jack. I'm not talking about Jack. That's old news. That's old news, man. All right, let's get back to this. So now let's talk about jerks, right? So we just went through nice guys. Now we're going to talk about jerks. These and nice guys are but one and the same. While a nice guy introverts himself, the jerk extroverts himself. While the nice guy is constantly passive, the jerk is constantly aggressive. While the nice guy hides his sexuality and can't get chicks to be attracted to him, but the good long-term relationship material, as girls confirm by saying to the nice guy, you're not the type of guy I'd date. You're the type of guy I'd marry. The jerks erupt his sexuality everywhere. Let's see here. The jerk erupts his sexuality everywhere, gets chicks attracted to him, but can never keep them. The jerk has no confidence, which is why he is a jerk in the first place. True criticisms sting him and collapse his spirit. You know, one thing that women will do too, women will get with a jerk, right? They'll get with a guy who's a fucking asshole, and they'll think in their women brains, oh, this guy's a leader, this guy's dominant, this guy, you know, whatever. And he's really just an abusive jerk. And then over time, she loses attractive for him too, because he doesn't have a dominant masculine presence. He's a domineering jerk. Do you see what I'm saying? So women get confused by that pretty easily. You know what I mean? So that's how you're like, why is she with that jerk? Right? Women like that. They like a guy who's assertive and has boundaries and enforces boundaries. But like the ultimate guy sprinkles a little beta on it, has a little bit of that emotional intelligence, right? So the problem is the jerks, they're too alpha, right? Too alpha side, not enough beta side. The beta, the nice guys are too beta and like zero alpha side. So these women end up fucking these guys and then marrying these guys, right? That's what happens, right? They'll marry this guy and then cheat on him with this guy, right? Those women, they're always cheating, aren't they? Okay, no, they're not always cheating. That's not true. Anyway, where are we at here? The jerk has no confidence, which is why he is a jerk in the first place. True criticism sting him and collapses his spirit. That's why a lot of these guys end up in fucking arguments with strangers on the internet all the time. Notice how the jerk may get chicks long enough for sex. He fails completely in life. He ends up being a janitor or something similar. The girls he bedded with, all of them insecure little girls. It is pathetic and very sad. Some guys have gotten confident enough to take action, talk to girls, etc., but very few have true backbone. Even fewer than that have the Don Juan skills expressed in the articles and on this forum. Most guys are pathetic. Most are chumps. Women simply get tired of looking and will settle for who they are with. It is so sad. But you, on the other hand, you are not a chump and are definitely not pathetic. You are a good catch. Fear not having no intimacy right now. For with your mindset and skills will ensure you luxurious intimacy for the course of your life. Can the passive nice guy speak of true passion within his relationship? Can the jerk, coward, speak of true success with true maturity within relationship? Of course not. You are enlightened and know something 99% of the other guys do not. How to handle women. For if you don't, women will handle you. 1 out of 4 marriages is when the woman never loved the guy anyway, but just settled down. 1 out of 4. She never loved the guy anyway, just settled down. Out of the love marriages, most of the women fall out of love. More women than men commit adultery. 80% of relationships are broken up by women. Why is this? Mostly because of patheticness. When you get down, think of all the guys that suffer from this. Then realize that you are truly free. For you possess the knowledge that makes you a man. There's no shame in failure, only shame in not trying. Even when you don't try, the fierce guilt that tears you up is a sign that you are changing for the better and killing that nice guy within you. This is one of the things that I learned from Corey Wayne's book, How to Be a 3% Man, right? If you guys haven't read that book yet, I highly recommend that book. But one of the things he talks about is the concept of 3% man is that only 3% of the world's population of men actually understands women, right? And also knows how to handle women and like their womenese and their women behavior. And a lot of women's behavior is emotionally driven. And once you become unaffected by a woman's emotions and you can navigate relationships, smoothly, you realize that you have no competition. You have no competition out there because you realize that 97% of the other dudes out there have no fucking clue what they're doing, right? And that's what this particular post is about. Like, you guys tune into the podcast. You guys read the books. You guys practice this stuff, right? 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 You're not just listening to the podcast every week and then not doing anything with it, right? You're taking action and applying this stuff. You're listening to the books on repeat, so it reprograms that paradigm, right? Because if that's you and you're putting in that kind of work, you're going to have a much easier time with relationships and dating. Because you'll actually understand women. You'll realize that when a woman's complaining about what restaurant you pick, she's shit testing you, right? And then you find shit tests funny. You sort of welcome the shit tests, right? Oh man, Brother Ed sent another $2 super chat, and because he's a Beer Club member and a YouTube subscriber, he gets the thing again. He gets the thing. He says, great actionable information. You know what? I'm also, because he sent 2 super chats, he's also going to get this one.
Shame this horse.
And then, and then he's also going to get this.
Super chat will see you there. Shake it, dance without a care. Send it love from everywhere. Cool beats we all can share. Your support is so divine. Moving closer to the line. Thank you, you're the best. Party on, we never rest.
Thanks, Ed. Ed's one of my biggest supporters, man. I really appreciate that, man. We call him Shreddy Eddie in Beer Club. He's a legend. So the next one here is a really long one. This actually might be a real long episode. It's called Feminism Put on Trial. And that's why you guys tuned in, right? The thumbnail, Feminism on Trial. So Pook wrote this, pretty long. It's Feminism Put on Trial. So we'll try to get to it as fast as we can, but it'll probably be a little bit of a longer episode today. And this whole thing is a skit, right? He's basically writing out a skit. So you gotta imagine this in your mind. They're literally in a stupid courtroom. All rise. SoSuave.com enters the courtroom with extravagant robes. Like an old man, he walks slowly to the judge's chair and sits. Everyone else sits after him. SoSuave.com puts on his glasses and says softly, "What is the matter?" The officer quickly walked over to SoSuave.com and handed him the papers. Squinting through his glasses, he examined the papers. Who represents the defense? A feminist stands. Note, she is fat and ugly with a poisonous personality, as most feminists are. You represent all women? I do. SoSwab.com reads from the sheet. You are accused of being Machiavellian rather than wise, calculating rather than smart, mimicking rather than confident, full of gestures rather than full of actions, a highwayman who changes personalities and clothes to steal man's egos, a mind shaper who possesses no identity, no virtues, no morals, no truths, and is ultimately a barbaric petty child-like species who transform all these vices into virtues under the hypnotic state called love. He looked up. How do you plead? Innocent. Now let us hear the argument. The representative of men may begin. Pook jumped from his seat. Thank you, Your Honor. Many men are afflicted with the disease known as nice Gaius patheticus now. The symptoms of such diseases are awful. The afflicted male will sacrifice dead plants as tokens of affection, write bad poetry, will speak in a language of banquets, and act like a fool in every and all ways. Objection! Yeah, you would object. The feminist snorted. The matter is about women, not about men. No, SoSwab.com answered. Women affect men's behavior. Let us hear the argument. Pook smiled. I call my first witness, the man with alligator skin when it comes to women. Anti-dump. As if you guys have been following along, you know, Anti-dump is another guy on the SoSwab forums, and he wrote a bunch of articles as well. Anti-dump walks in and stands in the front. The officer rushes by and holds up a rather thick book. Place your hand on the DJ Bible. He did so. Do you swear above all to be a man, to speak the truth of everything woman, to live with no apology, to know what you want and how to get it, and live to the fullest, so through Don Juan? I do. Pook paced back and forth. Now, Anti-dump, what would you suggest now to these guys? Oh, now to guys. To men, that men should stop trying to figure out if women or any woman likes them. Men are not women. Take off the dress, guys. It is women that wonder if a guy likes them before anything happens. Men have somehow picked up this bad habit from women. Go on. The thought of whether she likes you should never cross your mind. It is not important before you ask for the number. The important thing is you wanting her. Always ask yourself, do I want this one? And the answer should be, wow, boy, do I. That is all you need to know. Real men take what they want. You know, this goes back to one of the things that I often say when it comes to dating. When you go out dating, you need to be in the mindset of, do I even like this chick or not? Right? You need to go into a date not trying to get her to like you. She needs to prove herself to you. Okay? So you need to go into a date with, this is a chemistry test. Do I even like her? That'll change the whole game for you. Just changing that one thing, change the whole game for you. Pook turned towards the jury, which had one of each 12 members plucked from the last 12 centuries to have a true verdict of history. As Anti-dump is saying, men are beginning to think like women. Obviously, feminism has made a great change. Your witness. The feminist approached Anti-dump with caution. Why are you such a male-guided, hard-nosed pig? But that's why you love me. Disgusted, she said, no more questions. As Anti-dump left the stand, Pook set up charts. Members of the jury, in every age, no man would be afraid of a girl. Certainly, he would not look at a woman as one looks at a trialing Odyssey. Pook turned toward the jury. No, I have not gone berserk. I only agree with the DC sniper with one thing he said. Oprah Winfrey will cause the downfall of mankind. Hence, it remains for us to acknowledge the weeds of Babylon emerging around this garden of men. Young people are caught up in imitations they do not know. do not wish to understand, but vainly beat their chest, proclaiming how free they now are without realizing that they are entering a prison that took prophets, the blood of martyrs, crusades on the battlefield, and us to emerge. Or for us to emerge. A flight of vultures, of feminist harpies, are circling overhead to pick at man as vultures picked at Prometheus. These feminists, both the female and male variety, believe that they are highly progressive and well advanced. Yes, they are centuries, or yet they are centuries behind the times. Feminism came without warning and conquered men. It has created a generation of neurotic males. A male of this time may be one of them. Do you believe it is wrong to judge a woman by how she looks? Do you believe it is wrong to advance on a woman sexually with no verbal consent? Do you believe women have been discriminated because of their gender, that males intentionally put women down? Do you believe that in sex, it is wrong to even consider to have your way with her and become and be the sensuous animal you've always dreamed? Do you believe women desire as priority respect? If you believe in any of these things, even just a little, you have been affected by modern feminism. It is the virus that creates the effects known as nice Gaius patheticus. Women are judged on looks because you are judged on your looks, and women are much harsher about it. Feminists think a magazine picture... what's this say? Oh, feminists think a magazine picture tyrannizes young women. Forget my body. What about my mind? They say. But did you ever hear a woman say to the nice guy, your mind is great, but I love your body? And every male is witness to the fact that women run towards testosteronized males, i.e. jerks. You know, I saw this funny thing on TikTok the other day. This lady posted a video and she's like, ladies, I'm tired of gatekeeping this, but I found the perfect place to meet like real masculine men, you know, like real, just, you know, guys that are really in their masculine stuff like that. And she's like, I'm going to show you right now. And she turns the camera around and she's outside of a testosterone clinic. And she goes, you're welcome. I was like, yeah. Because guys that have high T are highly sexualized. Women actually really like that. But feminism would lead you to believe that that's not true. Nope, it's true. Women are judged on looks because you are... okay, we talked about this. Why do men fail with women? It is because they respect them. This great respect men find in women is nothing more than a lack of self-respect, a lack of confidence. Woman's reflectory nature must have something to reflect. If there is no confidence, there is no man. If there is no man, there could be no real male and thus any love. A recent Time magazine cover blared, Pook pointed to it, that men and women are biologically different. Time treated this as a great discovery, but didn't we all know this when we turned the age of 3 or 4? Feminism cannot see any biological differences between the sexes from the neck up. The feminists interrupted. Is there a point to all of this? Members of the jury, notice her tidy suit. Men change their clothes to match their lifestyles and attitudes. Women change their lifestyles and attitudes to match their clothes. Put her in a hula dress and she will start hula dancing. Before she could object, Pook added, anyone who has thought about women will find little value in them. The increase of thought about them, the increase of negativity is subscribed to them. The root of nice guyism is thinking too much about them. The more action you engage in, the more likely you are to get the hot chicks. SoSwab.com hammered the gavel and let the feminist call her witness. It was an average, normal woman. The feminist witness placed her hand on the feminist mystique book, whose true name is actually the feminist mistake. When she was done, Pook asked her some questions. Many men ask, what is the purpose of feminism? After all, women have their voting, their careers, and their business suits. Normal movements shut down once achieving their goals. Thus, feminism is not a normal movement. Now let us question the women. The woman representing all women was in the stand. Pook walks around her slowly, tapping on the bright light overhead. Why did you become a feminist? Because I was everything else. I was a daughter, then I became a woman. After that, I became a girlfriend. Then I became a wife and mother. I had been everything. I was bored. Being a feminist was it. There was nothing higher. Pook makes his voice louder. So you admit the truth. I do. I confess. Now we see the picture. Woman sees herself in relation to society. Women are in a never-ending war between mind and body. The body says yes, while the mind, ever remembering the statues of reputation, says, or the status of reputation, says, no. Oh, if there only was something that could free a woman of this state. Yes. Something that can make, what's to say, something respectable. Yes. And sluts sublime. Oh, yes. To turn the abandonment of motherhood into fulfilling a woman's potential. Yes. To make nagging infinite, to let fat girls feel free to get fatter and to give ugly girls a societal role. Oh, yes, she falls unconscious. That is the purpose of feminism, to let women do whatever they want with an air of morality, to turn feminine immorality into virtue. Thus, the problem of feminism is not men, but women. God, that's not the real Ryan Stone. Can't be. Kill me today. The truth, feminism is not declaring war on masculinity, but on femininity. Feminism is a political tower of Babylon to escape the truth of human nature. I'm in America, and I love foreign chicks. They are just so feminine. Here, the chicks act masculine and get fat. They find it shameful to place their time and talents into their family and children, whereas it should be their greatest joy. I think it is great honor, joy, privilege, and pleasure to put a man. I think it is a great honor, joy, and privilege and pleasure to be a man. Women can trump us as they can be a mother of men. There is much glory in masculinity and femininity, but feminists are against both. All right. Before we go further, guys, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Do get on the email list. I'll send you a bunch of free stuff, including a free chapter of my book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, which is available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. If you go to books.comeonmanpod.com, you can get that. And then, like I mentioned before, my new book is out, or it's going to be out, right? It's already available on my Kindle, on my tablet. I got to talk with Thor today, but we're going to get it published here in the next week or two. So check that out. It's going to be all on paradigm and reprogramming your paradigm. And speaking of the book, I'm going to play a commercial for my current book that's been out since December. If you haven't gotten it yet, what are you even waiting for? Life is a journey filled with twists and turns. Why is it that essential life lessons aren't taught in school? You probably know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but do you know how to invest in a Roth IRA? We're not taught to build ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. The roadmap to success is more than just a college degree. You don't have to follow the traditional route. Success isn't confined to a classroom. It's about discovering your own path. You ever wish that someone handed you a guidebook to life when you were 18? Well, it's never too late to rewrite your story. Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. Advice for young men to create a great life for themselves. This book is your compass, guiding you to pick the right career, how to invest wisely, and how to prepare for a fulfilling future. To take control of your health and your fitness. Learn how to date efficiently and find genuine desire. And master the art of leading healthy relationships. Your path is defined by the choices you make, not by others' expectations. Don't wait until you're 35 to unlock your potential. Order your copy now on Amazon. Rewrite your story. Build the life you deserve. Yeah, tired of the trolls this morning, so I had to put the chat on members only mode. So become a member if you want to sound off in the chat. All right, next up here, feminists are against sexuality. They attack masculinity and femininity, as the former being the cause of oppressing and the latter as the effect of the oppressed. Feminists desire a dull, gray, androgynous world without the sparkling lightning and glow that sexuality brings. Oh, hold on a second. Let's turn it off. Telegram, Beer Club. Okay. The result is androgyny everywhere, with both genders putting their priority on sex. Here, there, anywhere, all positions, with all certain arrangements of threesomes, foursomes, orgies, etc. The reason why is because sex, something no law or political philosophy can touch, is the only thing that makes women feel like women and men feel like men. Everything else that revolved around it, the old style dating, courtship of suitors, of gentlemen, of class, of charm, has been politicized out of existence. Pook called forth a band of men. Oh, gentlemen, what is left for men to do that is male? Gadgets, sex with women, bodybuilding, sex with women, hunting, sex with women, video games, sex with women, beer, sex with women, Maxim. Maxim used to be a magazine. Do you guys remember Maxim magazine? I used to have a subscription to Maxim magazine when I was in the Navy. What answers are these? Where there was once the concept of man as warrior, man as philosopher, man as many things, manhood has been savagely attacked and brought down by the earthly beast who glitters with political maxims and whose crown is academic scholarship that is supposed to prove its glitter. In other words, the concept that masculinity and barbarism are one of the same is their new ruling scepter. As long as people believe in this idea, they will sit on the throne. This ties into the belief that women have always been poor victims of masculinity, enslaved by the evil manhood. I am pro-sex, not in the way of libertines acting out bestial episodes, but in the manner of sexuality. Some people have said, Pook, why do you bring in things like literature and historic men into the site? Why do these, what do these have to do with anything? They have everything to do with this site, for the majority of us are learning to embrace our sexuality of both men and women. You can see sexuality as the key to the genius of Michelangelo's David and the dazzling energy and insight of Shakespeare. You can see the matter of sexuality bring up the great men on the historical stage. You can find sexuality as being the core to great art and key to genius. But with sexuality removed, no wonder the great writings, art, and personalities of our time are non-existent. Now they are said to exist because of the politics behind them. But there is nothing great or time-defying in politics, so they will not last. I am not exaggerating. Look at college campuses. They are full of girls. Boys are failing more and more in school. Less and less men are marrying because they are on strike against the current climate. In sexuality, Atlas is shrugging. This website should not exist. We men should not have to inquire on mating practices or what is more natural than that. SoSuave.com, hit the gavel. Get to the point, Pook. It is proven that modern feminism has made men into apologizing neurotics. It has caused hell in the romantic union of the sexes. The virtue of feminism is to backstab men. So brute apart that feminism capitally plays, that no man will be given any due achievement. But feminism has done its worst damage outside the romantic realm. The slow cold rot of feminism has destroyed one male virtue after another until women cry out, "Where have the men gone?" Pook pointed to the statistics showing females dominating universities and increasing their numbers. Why is this? Because education has now become the process of degenderization. Before, education was to turn a boy into a man. Mathematics, philosophy, literature, and so on were all to be used as tools or guides for men against their fight of nature and time. These gentlemen had a style and class about them. They are extinct today. The feminists started to complain again, so Pook addressed the point. She says that society has always been towards patriarchy. In other words, men have been suppressing women down through the generations with their institutions and hierarchies. In order for women to free themselves, they must have political power. Thus, feminism is the poison fruit of Rousseau, a classical teaching. Classical teaching, the echo of Romanism, holds that society is artificial. Society is a machine to be tampered and tweaked by the emperor. To these people, law creates society rather than society creating law. Rather than hold that society being the symphony of the rights of man, this classical teaching puts society to be moved and sculpted by the law. Pook takes out a scroll and reads, Rousseau is made to say, whoever ventures to undertake the founding of a nation should feel himself capable of changing human nature, so to speak, of transforming each individual who by himself is a perfect and separate whole into a part of a greater whole, from which that individual somehow receives his life and his being, of changing the physical constitution of man in order to strengthen it, etc., etc. If it be true that a great prince is a rarity, what then is to be said of a great lawgiver? The first has only to follow the model that the other constructs. The latter is the artificer who invents the machine. The former is only the operator who turns it on and runs it. So what are people in all this? Why, they are merely the blocks and parts of the machine. No wonder feminists throw themselves at the legislative palace. Let me call another witness. Miss Wildfire. Hey, Siege D sent a $3.99 super sticker. Thanks, brother. I'm going to give you this one for that one.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Okay. Why? Okay, where are we at here? So Rousseau. Okay, so what are our people on this? Okay, let me call another witness, Miss Wildfire. Wildfire approaches the stand. She put her hand on the DJ Bible as the officer said, do you swear above all to be a man, to speak the truth of everything woman, to live with no apology, to know what you want and how to get it, and live to the fullest, so through Don Juan? I do. Pook started to ask her about feminism until Wildfire broke out ranting against it. There isn't and never has been any patriarchy. That is a total bogus concept. True, things were oppressive for women back in the day, but they were also oppressive for men. While women had less choices, men bore the lion's share of the responsibility. The right to vote came at a price, the price of potentially laying down your life to protect this country. Do you guys remember? The draft? To this day, right? Women clamor for equality, but to this day, it's still only teenage boys that have to register for selective service. That's a fancy term for the draft. Girls still don't have to do that. You're a witness. The feminist roared, explain the wage gap then. It's a farce. This is funny because this is all written back in like 2000. And we've been arguing about the stupid wage gap myth for well over, like, we're still arguing about this thing. It's been totally disproven. He's writing about this back in 2000. It's a farce. Feminists claim that women are only paid 74 cents for every dollar a man makes. This angers a lot of women. The figures themselves are correct, but they are not presented truthfully. The numbers represent men and women as a whole, not comparing a man and a woman in the same company with the same seniority, same experience, and education. Men as a whole will always make more than women as a whole because there are stay-at-home moms, wives who only work part-time, and women who take time off to have babies. Men also work more overtime and more of the dangerous and higher paying jobs. It is against the law to pay a woman less than a man for the same job and qualifications. So anyone who believes this feminist lie is not very bright. And the glass ceiling? Yes, that proverbial glass ceiling. Feminists whine that there aren't enough women in corporate management. Hello? Women have only been in the workforce with more women working than not for the last 20 years or so. Most corporate managers have put that much time in with the company before getting one of those jobs, unless he's a family member of the owner. It's about paying dues and earning those positions, and women will get there as soon as they pay those same dues and invest that same time. The feminists, defeated, said, "No more questions," and Wildfire returned to her world. Now came the time for closing arguments. The jury of the 12 centuries listened attentively. The feminists rant and raved. When she was done, Pook gave a calm and logical presentation, outlining what was already discussed. Feminism is essentially about desexualization. This is where nice guys AFCs come from. This is why feminists are so bitter. But since sexuality is no longer embraced, male-female harmonics becomes disrupted. Androgynous people sport in sex, since that is the only way to make them feel male and female. Because of this desexualization, art, leadership, and education suffer. Pook brought out another woman, one he met in flesh and blood. She was in her 40s. She said, "I don't believe in feminism. Women are the dominant sex. Men are so naive about relationships and sexuality. Men may be physically dominant, but women are emotionally dominant. Who controls the finances in most homes? It is the woman. Look in the banks and you'll find them filled with women. I could be a woman in any age, but I would never wish to be a man in this age where manhood has been condemned. Members of the jury, consider the choice you are making." All right. Before we move on, guys, do consider joining Beer Club. All right. beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good group of dudes. You'll get more value out of Beer Club than you will with the YouTube membership because you are going to be interacting with like-minded guys. You'll be swapping notes with guys that are on similar paths that you are on. And the best way to level up is with other dudes, right? Guys that have been there before, guys that have been in your predicament and have worked their way through it. All right. It's men leveling up and helping other men. It's a very active Telegram community. And we have almost 50 guys in there. And so, swapping notes with those guys is very active. The guys are in there talking every day. We've got 3 guys in there that have lost considerable amounts of weight because they've got their fitness and their diets on point, and they're holding each other accountable. So we have one guy in there that's cured himself of type 2 diabetes. It's phenomenal. Right. So check that out. And then we also get together once or twice a month on an actual call and just shoot the shit. A lot of guys don't have an outlet like that. A lot of guys don't have a tribe. They don't have a brotherhood that they can come to. That's what Beer Club's for. Okay. So if you're having problems with dating, problems with relationships, right, get in the Beer Club and start swapping notes with the guys. Okay. I am changing my coaching practice. I am really going to be focusing on guys who are in relationships with dead bedrooms. So a lot of guys lately have been reaching out about how to get on a call with me. And so I'm like, well, what's your story? What can I help you with? And a lot of guys still want help with the dating and stuff like that. Beer Club's the place to go for that going forward. Okay. If you want help with the dating and stuff like that, if you need help restoring a dead bedroom, then, DM me on Instagram or on Facebook or something like that. And then tell me your story there. And then we can talk through whether working with me might be right for you. Okay. Oh, and then also remember, for members only, for YouTube members, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to start doing live streams for YouTube members where you can actually call in and talk to me on the live stream. Okay. And it's only for members. So members, like, the public can't see it. So if you're worried about anonymity, public can't see it. It's only for members. And then you can turn your camera off too if you want to remain anonymous. That's fine as well. All right. The choice before us of man or woman. This is the choice of humanity. Shall civilization be a mankind who seeks to go forever forward and gain independence of spirit from the gross natural calamities that compose the flesh? Or shall civilization sigh into a womankind that retreats back to infancy, to a warm, milk-flowing sleep? For the all, this raised empires and rots them within. From the one, this attracts respect and dishonor to make the life a series of avalanching regrets. For who would walk the path of a man and bear the thorns, traps, and trolls that nature's filled? Of science, of philosophy, of art, for these are the stones of civilization. But how pure and blissful is the sleep that femininity dreams in. The dance and music of love's eternity, the wine, the song, the crest of love itself. The choice not taken is always the choice yearned for. But are there not two sexes? Has not nature divided humanity into two distinct parts? Then let us choose both. Let women be women and let men be men. Let one hold up the scepter of reaction and the rest embrace the man, that infinite name of action. Notice that he says there's only two parts, men and women. I'll just leave that there. The jury excited and made their decision. When they returned, Renaissance, Dark Ages, Middle Ages, Industrial Age, Pioneer Age, and so on took their seats. It was the 20th century that announced the verdict. Guilty. SoSwab.com announced the punishment. Those who take feminism seriously will be condemned to bitterness, ugliness, and joylessness. Any males who listen will be condemned to loneliness, stuffed with nice gaius patheticus. There is a war against men, gentlemen, and feminism is leading the charge. Guilt-filled men sound like this. Hey, Nurse Chick's finally in the house. Let's see here. She says here, better late than never. Good morning, gentlemen. Nurse Chick gets this sound.
I'm so naughty.
Yes, she's so naughty. She says, if you're not a member, are you even supporting the show? Let's go, chat. 3 more spots. That's right. And the chat's in member-only mode now because of the trolls ruined it for everybody. All right. There is a war against men, gentlemen, and feminism is leading the charge. Guilt-filled men sound like this. One of the reasons I started to care about radical feminism as much as I did was because it seemed to resolve for me a certain dilemma about myself in relation to other men. I had always felt irredeemably different. Even when no one else noticed, I knew I wasn't really one of them. When I first began to come in contact with the ideas of radical feminism, those ideas seemed to put to rest that certain trouble. Radical feminism helped me imagine a gender-just future, a notion of possibility that men need not be brutish and loudish, that women need not be cutesy and coy. It was a vision that energized me. It helped me view the whole male supremacist structure of gender as a social construct, not as a final judgment on our natures, and not as a final judgment on mine. Radical feminism helped me honor in myself the differences I felt between myself and other men. Radical feminism helped me know my connections to the lives of women with whom I had not imagined I would ever find a model for who I could be. And it's also true, and not easy to admit, that radical feminism helped provide me with a form in which to express my anger at other men, an anger that in men can run very deep, as many of us know. So he's actually quoting a male feminist here. And Pook says he's different from most guys because he refuses to be male. But he goes on, continue quoting a male feminist. I think that for many men who have become anti-sexist over the past several years, their anti-sexism has had meaning to them for similar reasons. In various ways, feminism has blown like a gust of fresh air through a lifetime spent agonizing and anguishing about the place of other men in our lives. For a few of us, feminism has helped us breathe a bit easier. Not so. So this is Pook again. Not so. By letting fat women get fatter, they choke on themselves. I see a couple of them riding those carts in the grocery stores all the time. You know, I was just thinking about this yesterday. There's a lot of very manly, like, women in these parts. Like out here on the western slope of Colorado. There's a bug that's killing me here. There's a lot of hardy gals, and a lot of women are really masculinized these days. And there was this lady that works at the Dollar General up the street from me, and I was up there yesterday, and she's outside smoking. If she didn't have long hair, I would think she was a dude, right? Just because, and that's what feminism's done to us. That's what women get fatter and lazier, and then we're all supposed to, like these women. Get out of here. So it goes back to this is the male feminist again. But it would be a mistake to suggest that a man's anti-sexism puts to rest his ambivalence towards other men. I think that an anti-sexist consciousness actually makes the conflict more acute. Such a man perceives even more clearly the behaviors and attitudes in other men that he rejects, and he understands more about what those behaviors and attitudes mean. And in a sense, they are the behaviors and attitudes in himself that he wants to be rid of. And somehow other men can remind him of the parts of himself that have not changed very much at all. And whereas he briefly felt good about being different from other men, a part of him no longer feels quite different enough. So his anger at other men intensifies as a man. So his anger at other men intensifies as a means of keeping clear to himself that he's an exception. Meanwhile, he misses the company of other men, their ease, their companionship, the good feelings he remembers having had in their presence. For many men, the issue of other men is a classic conflict of approach and avoidance. For a man whose life increasingly has to do with anti-sexism, the conflict cuts to the bone. He struggles with what it means to be a man and whether he feels ashamed or proud. And then it goes back to Pook. And this guy feels ashamed. He actually wrote a book called Refusal to Be a Man, which is what I'm quoting. So which is it, good reader? You must now make the choice. It all comes down to So Suave's Be a Man or Oprah's Be a Man. And that is the chapter, the last chapter today, guys. And a lot of distractions today. I apologize. Usually I'm much better. I'm much better at dealing with distractions, but God bless. Billy's in the chat being a nerd. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. Nurse Chick, she says, if we get one more subscriber, I will pay for $10 and $20 super chat. Let's go. Wow, Nurse Chick. That's a bold statement. What do you guys think? Right? You guys want a bouncing butt video? Nurse Chick will pay for it. Okay. I just need one more member. While we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and wrap up here. So, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to start having a live call-in coaching stream on Tuesdays. So that starts tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be going live for YouTube members only at 7 p.m. If you're having relationship problems, if you're having dating problems, if you're having mental frame or depression problems, become a member and call in, right? I'll drop the StreamYard link in the chat, and anyone in the chat can hop on the stream and talk about whatever you have on your mind, right? It's members only though. Okay. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat. The public can't see it. Got that bug. Okay. There we go. The public can't see it. It's only for members. Only members will be able to watch. All right. And then I'll make it available to Spotify subscribers later. You guys can listen to the replay. All right. But public won't be able to see it. So if you want to remain anonymous, you can leave your cameras off, all that kind of stuff. Right. But a lot of guys want coaching, but they don't want to pay the price for one-on-one coaching. This is for you cheap bastards. At least become a member. It's $3 a month, right? It's 10 cents a day. And I thought it would be a good added bonus for you guys who have become members, right? Spotify subscribers, they won't be able to join in live, but I'll make the streams available for you guys. Okay. And it's not going to be a typical structured podcast like this is. This is somewhat structured. It's not going to be like that. It's just going to be me talking to guys. Okay. It'll be way more relaxed, and it'll be driven by you guys. Okay. And if nobody calls in, well, they'll just be short episodes, right? Other than that, tune into the podcast Wednesday for Woo Woo Wednesday. I'll be talking about the concept of A, B, and C type goals. Okay. Now I learned this from Bob Proctor, and then we're going to tailor that episode into how you can use it to turn things around in your relationship or marriage, right? If you're having problems there. Okay. It will be woo-woo though, because we're going to be using a lot of law of attraction and faith especially the C type goals. Okay. But it'll be a good episode. I think you guys will like it. All right. That's all I got. thank you for all the members. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, we have 7 out of 10. The goal is to get to 10 in the next 30 days. We're almost there. We only have a few more spots to get to that goal. So consider joining. These episodes are free for the first 2 weeks, but after that, if you want to go back and watch older episodes, you got to become a member, and it's less than a gallon of gas, right? So check that out. That supports the show. Let's see here. Like, subscribe, hit those notifications if you haven't done so already. Thanks for the real people that sound off in the chat today. I apologize for having to turn on members only mode. I don't want to have to do that. So don't be a piece of shit. All right. Thanks for the super chats. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, become a member. Links are in the description. If you guys prefer to listen to these shows on Spotify, become a subscriber on Spotify. Okay. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list. I'll send you a bunch of free stuff, including a free chapter of my book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. If you want to read the whole book, it is available on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. Okay. So if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, use your next credit on that. If you guys have an Audible subscription, use your next credit on it. My new book is going to be coming out in the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. Get on the email list so you know when that comes out. Okay. And then join the beer club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. That's another way to support the show, but it also gives you access to a really active community of like-minded guys that are all working to level up. So a lot of guys are trying to do this alone. They're trying to be lone wolves, trying to be that lone wolf Sigma male, right? Like, that's bullshit. Okay. All that tends to do is lead to ruminating brain and into depression and anxiety. Don't do that. Okay. You don't have to do this shit alone. Work with other like-minded guys. It's only $10 a month. Okay. That's all I got. We will see you guys tomorrow night on the coaching stream.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. New full episodes served hot every Monday morning on your favorite podcast platform of choice. So subscribe now. Follow Paul on social media. The links are in the description. Now, go out and get it.